How you doing? My name is Mike Jenkins. I'm an area rep in Lenoir and Greene County. Thank you for joining me today at FCA Virtual Leadership Camp. I'm talking about empowerment, empowering leaders. And the verse, Mark 12:30, says, love God with all your heart, mind, being, and soul. You have to have your strength. You have to be 100%. You got to be all in. But to be all in as a leader, sometimes adversity will come against you and try to knock you down. Adversity will crash against your mind like waves that crashes against a ship in the middle of the sea. Then what do you do then? Because everybody has talent. Talent never stops nobody. It's going to be adversity. And being a leader, everybody can be a leader. We all created to lead in our own environment, in our own way. That's why you got a DYB. Do your best at being yourself. But doing your best at being yourself sometimes causes you to look down at yourself and recognize who you are. The only way you can recognize who you are is knowing who God created you to be. You have to have vision. You got to be committed. Earlier I said the boat in the middle of the sea. But if you want to talk about the captain that runs that ship, I seen in a movie where the captain said, no matter what happens to my ship, I'm going to stay with my ship. No matter how big the waves come crashing in, no matter how hard the wind is blowing, doesn't matter how bright the lightning is, the ship's going down, I'm going down with the ship. And just like in that verse in Mark 12:30, it's all about your mind. It's all about your mind and having an understanding. And the understanding is you got to be committed. Like while you're leading, there's nothing wrong with leading when everything was going good. It was nothing wrong with my talent when I was in college. It was how I saw myself. I grew up in a government housing where my family had abused drugs and alcohol. I really didn't like myself. I didn't understand myself. Because my vision, I wasn't fully committed to my vision because I had no self-discipline within myself. I didn't like the way God created me. See, we all created uniquely. We all created differently. And you have to remind yourself while you're leading, while you're out in front, while you're doing your best at being yourself, you have to remind yourself of the plan that God has for you. And Habakkuk 2:2, it says, write the vision and make it plain. It also says, if that vision is delayed, hold fast, stand still. It will not be denied. I encourage you to write your vision down. Make you a vision board. Get you a sticky note. Get you a piece of paper. Write your accomplishments, whether it's athletically, academically, what you want to do, what college you want to go to, who you want to be, those dreams that God put in you, because God has designed all of us for a purpose. You write it down. List those goals out. Whether it's a 2-month goal or a 2-year goal. Write it down. And when those adversities start crashing against your mind, like the waves crashing against the ship, you are the captain of your ship. The Bible is a spiritual thing. Mark 12:30 says, love God with all your heart, mind, strength, and being. But when you love God with all your heart, it's talking about your mind. Think about it. The Bible doesn't talk about this part in your heart. That's flesh. Emotions, it's a spiritual thing. Anger, love, joy. Let's think about crying. For example, somebody can cry and show 3 different types of emotions from crying. You can cry for joy because you're so happy. I've seen people cry because of sadness. Then I've seen people cry because they're so emotionally upset, enraged. Tears come from their eyes. Emotions. You have to have balanced emotions. You don't want to be bullied by your emotions. And that's what the devil tried to do. He tried to bully us with our emotions. And we're talking about the mind because that's where everything starts at. I'm not talking about building up the strength. I'm talking about how do you maintain? How do you empower yourself? How do you keep going when you don't feel like going? You know, when I was in high school, even in college, when we had conditioning in football, somewhere in my mind, my body said quit. But I kept pushing because I never forgot the goal. So I had dreams of going to the NFL. Who doesn't have dreams of being a professional athlete when you're in the athletic arena? But I had dreams going to the NFL, so I never forgot it. So when my body started to get a little tired and my legs started to hurt, I was committed to my vision. I rehearsed in my mind who I wanted to be. I didn't finish because of adversity. It wasn't my talent that God gave me that stopped me from reaching my potential. It was the adversity of growing up in the government housing. It was the night in and night out when I was year in and year out from grade 9 to grade 12, battling with depression. Being a great athlete with low self-esteem. I was not liking myself the way God created me. I had no vision. Vision is something with your imagination, being able to see the future, using your imagination or using wisdom. My imagination was tarnished. It was darkened because of the adversity. I was more looking at the problems instead of the answer. And that's a play on words because we know Jesus Christ is the answer. Life has problems. In Matthew chapter 5, I think verse 45, it says that it shall rain on the just as well as the unjust. And he make the sun shine on the good and the bad. Meaning we're all in this world, we're going to all face adversities. No matter if we're doing the right thing or we're doing the wrong thing. We're living the right way, we're living the wrong way. Whether you make straight A's or you struggle making C's and D's. You're all going to go to school and you're all going to face adversity in your own way. You don't want the devil to bully you with your emotions. You want to take inventory over your mind and your body. You want to look inside in yourself. You want to be okay with your insecurities. I have a gap in my mouth. It's no secret. When I was growing up, my gap in my mouth caused me to have low self-esteem because I feel like God made a mistake. He made me a certain way. I was not okay with my insecurities. I wasn't in 100%. I didn't love God completely. Why? Because I was kind of upset. My vision was distorted because how I seen myself physically. But once I restored my mind and got committed and became more committed to my vision, once I made that vision board, I wrote those things down. And in hard times, me writing down my goals and my accomplishments and things I wanted to do reminded me during hard times that God still loved me. Like in Habakkuk 2:2, he had a plan for me. And if my plan seemed like it was delayed, I should be able to stand within the adversity. I should be able to, my ship, my mind, should be able to sail through the waters, whether it's raging or if it's calm. Being content in every situation. Because I don't lose commitment because I continue to see myself how God created me. I encourage you to make a vision board. If you can't make a vision board, get you a piece of paper. Write down those dreams. Write down those goals. What do you want to do? Stick it to your wall. Stick it on your mirror. Put it on a refrigerator. Somewhere that you can see it on a regular basis. Make your vision part of your routine. That's empowerment. Empowerment means movement. It constantly revolves. That's perspective. Having an effective perspective on life, you're constantly changing your view. You constantly got to move. You got to be tuned into who? Tuned into what God called you to do. And the way you do that is constantly looking at that vision and that goal, those dreams of who you want to be when you wake up in the morning, when you go into your room, when you go in the bathroom to brush your teeth, or if you go in the refrigerator to get you a glass of water or a soda. You want to remind yourself, because adversity is coming. It says it in the Bible in Matthew 5, verse 45. It's going to rain on the just as well as the unjust. The sun is going to shine on the good and the bad. You have to be confident in who you are and the way God designed you. That's real empowerment. You can only stop you. You don't allow the devil to bully you with your emotions. Because you know what? With a bully, you know what a bully does? A bully is insecure with his own self. And somebody who's secure with themselves and the way God created them, they help other people. So we're not going to allow a coward devil to use our emotions against us. No, we're going to be empowered. We're going to accept the way God created me, the way I accept the way God created me, the way I accept the lifestyle I was raised up in, the way I accept that it was okay that my family abused drugs, but I made a conscious decision that I was going to change my life and I was going to have something better for myself. I empowered myself. I didn't change my mother. I didn't change my grandmother. No, it's still the same family. Just my perspective on how I view myself in my situation empowered me to continue to do the right thing. Galatians chapter 6 verse 9 says, you can't get tired of doing the right thing. If you don't give up or get discouraged, you shall reap a reward. You can't get tired of constantly doing your chores. You can't get tired of running if you're an athlete. You can't get tired of studying as being a student. You cannot get tired of respecting your parents. See, you love your parents. Doesn't mean that you agree with everything they say, but you're committed to their vision within that household. That's a natural thing. But it's the same thing spiritually. To be all in for God, 100%, mind, body, being, and strength. You have to be committed to your vision. You have to fully understand why you're here. That's empowerment. Thank you for spending your time with me. And again, I encourage you, create that vision board. Once you get tired, remind yourself of who you are and what God created you to do. Again, my name is Mike Jenkins, and I was talking about empowerment. What does empowered means? It means to see yourself the way God created you. See yourself in spite of adversity. See yourself going through, charging through as that wind and lightning and waves are crashing against that ship. The same way the adversity of life gonna crash against your mind. You can empower yourself to do all things through Christ that give you strength. Thank you. How about that?